to learn from and to grow, dealing with emotions to create decisions that it shows. I need a lesson. I need a lesson. I need a lesson. Lessons learned.
Everyone has a lesson. Whether it's good or bad, you can learn from it. The coronavirus is spreading rapidly more than most people expected, and it's getting worse here in Massachusetts. Several weeks ago, we only had 1,000, and now we are over 8,000 cases easily. I'm just blown away, honestly. Even though we are on a lockdown, it's increasing more and more. I got the chance to talk to some friends about this.
Coronavirus. Yeah, that pandemic got us all scared. Like, to be honest, like I'm a little worried, but then again, I'm not worried because, the test, now that's like further along, they're saying it's hitting people that's like, 60, 70, 80, 90 years old. That's when it's really affecting. A few cases that's in the 50s. But then it makes me worry about like my parents and whatnot. And also like, why is it spreading so fast? And like, why is it like, you know what I mean? Because there's some carriers, and then there's the people who got it, and then, once it's not affecting, just being a virus in general is just scary. So like me, being out of work and whatnot, like most of this damn nation, I've been on YouTube, I've been on, social media. Basically, some seem like they're making things up. They're talking about martial law. Yeah, they're scared. But it's like also like I'm getting like some things that seem like news or whatever, like where it came from, how like they have a market where they have all types of animals, and that it could have transferred from animals to animals, like in a cage that they keep them in, and they slaughter them like on a spot, and cross contamination. Basically everything we do here, but like on the market, it's not really that like sanitary or that like contained. That's just one video I was watching, They said like, how come they keep getting outbreaks in China? But like, this is basically starting from those markets. It's twice or 3 times so far. Probably just start locking down on it, or it's just, I don't know. I had a theory that I was like global warming, like it's like melted North Poles, melted South Pole caps, Antarctica. Well, the ice is melting and just like breaking into the sea, and like I done heard some scientists talk about like they don't know what's held into the ice. Like it's just like shit from years. It's been there for millennials or decades or centuries. Just ice, and it's finally breaking. It's getting into the water. Sea levels are rising. It's just a bunch of stuff going on in the ecosystem. And I was thinking it was just like something from the ice cap got onto like some of the seafood, because they eat seafood raw. Sushi is fucking delicious. Yeah, I had to snapper. Shit. But anyways, that was my theory. It was global warming. Another thing is, it is the ecosystem. They just over there chopping up some nasty stuff and just eating it and then carrying it on. It's getting passed on. The videos was very detailed. I kind of liked how they depicted it and showed it off. But like, my theory, I was really into my theory, the global warming. It could be part of that. Don't know what's in the air, what's growing, what's mutating. Like what's taking, like we got to where we are over like centuries of like evolution. You never know what's gonna happen to like animals and bacteria. They stay finding new species. They don't talk about it a lot, but it'll be like different cousins of like spiders and all that types of shit. We're just constantly popping up. They haven't found everything. And then they got the mixed species, mixed breeds. So you never know. It might be just finding some new shit. You never know if meteors are bringing shit too. You know what I mean? You don't know what they compose of. When it drop, it could just mold into something else. You never know. Never know. But yeah, coronavirus, it's making me sit inside and realize some things also. You gotta start valuing the people at your household. Start having conversations. I started making dinner and whatnot. You know, it gives you time to like work on things that you never worked on before. But, you know, gotta get to those things. And how like the economy could be better, and how we could have breaks. And the government could just give us breaks all the time, but like, you know what I mean? They just don't. But it's one thing. You just find a light in this dark moment. You know what I mean? I'm trying to. I got a mean vacation from work. I'm chilling. My next paycheck, I don't know. I'm a little scared about that, but you know what I mean? I'm chilling for now.
What I think about this virus are some positive things and negative things. Some of the positive things is we get to relax our minds and bodies. Americans tend to work all year without going on vacations. We honestly needed this, you guys. Another positive thing is we are helping our earth. The pollution is decreasing. So that's pretty good, you know? But some of the negative things, we didn't really react quickly and we underestimated this virus. I remember when I was in New York on my birthday and I saw some people with masks and I was wondering, it's kind of weird. And I was also cautious, you know, washing my hands and not touching my face. And I've always been like that, but I did notice in February more people wearing masks and stuff in New York. So it's kind of crazy looking back, and it's just, I see everyone wearing a mask and gloves and all this stuff. I have hand sanitizer in my car, you know? It's just crazy. Another negative thing is so many people are dying. We just have to be hopeful and pray for a better outcome. That's just all we have to do, and stay inside. Make sure everyone's okay, checking up on everyone.
So I have an anxiety disorder, so it's kind of natural for me to be worried about my health and feel like doom is impending. And I've been seeing a therapist, and obviously, like a lot of people who have mental health issues, they feel really similar to me, and it kind of helps me work through this fear, because a lot of people don't have like the training of dealing with anxiety and working through it. So I actually feel like because I've struggled with anxiety outside of this pandemic, I'm able to deal with the feelings a lot easier. And so I'm not really like hoarding stuff at the grocery store. I'm not doing these other expressions of fear that some people just haven't experienced before. But in a way, I feel like I'm kind of downplaying things, and I have a hard time gauging how afraid should I be, because I want to manage the anxiety, but I also don't want to work myself up so bad that I can't cope with it and I go into some kind of like panic.
Oh, so where are you located right now?
So I'm on Cape Cod, and we were pretty isolated. I think there's 9 cases in my town that I live in. But all these tourists are coming to Cape Cod now to open their summer homes, and they're bringing the virus with them. Like, they'll move down here into their summer home, and then they'll be trying to get tested at the hospital. So a lot of the locals are trying to urge people, like, please don't come here. Like Nantucket, it's an island. So if a sick person goes on an island, I mean, it's going to grow exponentially. You're going to have to quarantine a whole island. So the governor of Massachusetts, he actually said like, please, he urged people, like, do not go to your summer homes on the Cape. Like, we do not have the infrastructure with hospitals to deal with, you know, as many sick cases as might happen in Boston or something like that, because they're not even fully staffed this time of year. So it can become a real problem. The more, I mean, anywhere, if you have more people, there's more cases, there's more stress on the health system. So, you know, that's kind of what we're dealing with here. But I mean, me personally, I've just been in my house. I go out to the grocery store, but other than that, I find plenty to do at home. So, and I live alone, so it's pretty easy to feel safe and protected from it.
So how are your parents feeling and everything?
I don't know if, like, his school, he's in school and he's in his last year. He was about to graduate in May, and graduation isn't happening anymore. School is out. He's doing online classes like a lot of schools are. And he was working in his office until like 2 weeks ago. So they seem to be a lot slower in responding. I don't know if it's like the whole state or if it's just my brother and his work and stuff. But his girlfriend is actually, she's in the medical field, and she has to be around cancer patients, and because she's in cancer research. And so she's exposed to a lot of people that are immunocompromised. So he's not even self-isolating from her or, you know, taking distance and stuff, even though she might, if she gets corona, she can't work. She's like a huge risk to these people. And it just seems kind of weird that he hasn't really accepted, or it hasn't really hit him as much as it has in other parts of the US yet. I mean, I know Seattle is a huge hotspot for corona, or at least that's what I've heard. And that's out west. So I don't know, I think it will hit him eventually, but for now, he's kind of not really in the same mindset as we are in Massachusetts. My parents are doing fairly well. My mom, I think she has a hard time staying in the house, and she's been going out and stuff, like going to her friend's house and organizing, because she's trying to get into professional organizing. And so her friend is her client, and she'll go there and keep like cleaning out the house and stuff, and like go to the grocery store like once a week and stuff. So I don't think she's really adopted the same mindset as I have, where I'm like, okay, I just need to stay inside as much as possible and avoid contact with people. But she is taking precautions, like wearing gloves to the grocery store, and I think she is starting to isolate herself a bit more. But I mean, she's been like dry coughing for a little bit now. I mean, she's always had somewhat of a cough, but it's kind of surprising to me that she isn't worried. But also, I think if you don't have other symptoms, it's probably hard to get testing, and I don't think you should put stress on the people doing the testing, because there's so many people wanting to get tested that you really only should if you are seriously like experiencing some symptoms. So I mean, it's hard to know what to do. It's hard to know how to handle things.
I think it's also hard too, because I feel like people find this hard to believe, and I feel like we just all need to try to cope with it, you know?
Yeah, and it's kind of like this invisible threat. I mean, once you see someone get sick, it's sort of like this elusive fear, something not tangible. So I think that's also kind of plays with your psychology a little bit, that you kind of have to have that trust in what people are saying. Just stay inside and stop hoarding toilet paper. Like, I'm down to like my last roll, and I'm like, where am I gonna get toilet paper when I run out?
I know.
Like, maybe I missed the memo on this, but I don't get why people are doing it. I mean, grocery stores are going to stay open, they say,
either.
so.
I literally have 2 rolls left too, so it's like, where am I going to get some? You might have to use some tissues or something like that.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I think it's like a balance between you need to not panic, but also do what you can to protect yourself. But it's like that balance of, you know, I mean, when you have an anxiety disorder, it's sort of like there's this real fear that you have, but you have to manage it. And I think it's the same with this widespread fear of this virus.
Stay tuned for more episodes and make sure you stay safe and healthy out there. Check up on your friends and family, and please stop hoarding stuff.